Today we are going to be going over 1.1b from Utah Middle School Math Project, which is about writing expressions, but that means that you should have already mastered simplifying expressions. So we're going to start with this quick poll. Please pause the video long enough to make sure you have an answer for this. We'll be going over it shortly. When I simplify expressions, I start with the order of operations. This is critical. Many students who got the first 4 questions wrong on your quiz had to deal with you not following the order of operations. Grouping symbols first. I have some grouping symbols, these parentheses here. Unfortunately, I can't simplify those grouping symbols first because x minus 7 or x plus a negative 7, because I can change subtraction to adding a negative, cannot be combined. So those parentheses must be there for another reason, but at least I tried the grouping symbols. E for exponents, no E for exponents, M for multiplication, and that's exactly what we see here. That's why those parentheses are here, because we have 2 groups of those parentheses. So I have to take care of that multiplication across the parentheses before I can do anything else. And that's going to look like this. 2 groups of x is 2x, and 2 groups of negative 7 is negative 14. I was adding before, because remember I changed it to adding a negative, so that means I'm adding after I multiply across. Plus 16 plus a negative 6x. Now I can combine these like terms with 2x combined with the negative 6x. I'm going to have a couple of 0 pairs here, and that's going to leave me with negative 4x. And I've got some units here, negative 14 units, 16 units. Those are going to combine, leaving me with several 0 pairs and 2 positive unit tiles left over. So negative 4x plus 2, which the majority of you were able to get correct. Any questions now that you've seen that answer? Okay. Then let's move on to 1.1b. As I said in the introduction, we are going to be writing linear expressions to model real-world situations. To get started, I actually have kind of a little sort here. So Aria and her friends are playing a game, and these expressions below represent the amount of money that each player has at the end of the game, where M is the amount of money a player started with. So again, M is the amount of money that a player started with, but the amount of money that a player starts with changes throughout the game as different events happen. So these are the different expressions, and below it are all of the different scenarios. So PETA, these things happen. Maya, these things happen. And so you need to follow along figuring out what is happening to the amount of money they have and see if you can find the expression that matches that. You have a card sort in front of you that models this. I think it makes it a little bit easier than trying to catch and follow along on the paper. So the little slips of paper are these expressions, and the larger slips of paper are the scenarios. You can pull those out of the bag and start sorting through. Make sure that everyone in your table agrees before you move on to the next one. We're going to pause the recording now as you try and figure out how to do this. The best way to do this would be to access the notes so that you can see the whole entire screen all at once. Pausing the recording as students work together in class. All right, let's see how you did. I think that the best way to do this is for me to read a player card, and then you tell me which situation matches. So PETA collects the following cards. He started with M amount of dollars. Remember that, he started with M. And he's doing a great job at work, and he received a bonus. Double the amount of money you currently have. So what should be happening first in this expression according to the story? What should I be looking for? Luke? Yeah, we're timesing the amount of money he has by 2. We should be doubling it. So I'm going to look at these expressions and see ones. Let's see, here's one that's doubling. There's one that's doubling. There's one that's doubling. So I've kind of narrowed it down between A, E, and C. Which one shows the multiplication is happening first? What's happening first in this problem? Sam, what's happening first in A? Yeah, and this is only multiplied by 2. So probably not going to be A, but I do see that everything is multiplied by 2, so I'm not going to completely cancel that one out yet. E, what is showing that is happening first? Talk with your groups, because we should have more hands than just the 2 hands. What's happening first in this expression? Okay, and now come back to me now that you've discussed. Emery, what's happening first? In this one? Careful, because parentheses are there for a reason saying this happened first. So what's happening first in this expression? It's being subtracted by 100 according to the order of operations. So it's probably not going to be that one because that one says that it should be doubled first, which leaves me with C. What's happening to M first? No parentheses, no grouping symbols this time. So what's happening first? It's being multiplied by 2. So it's probably going to be C, but let's keep on reading and see if it matches. It's time to pay property taxes. Pay the bank $100. So again, if I'm suspecting that it's this one, we had it doubled first and then we see we're subtracting 100. Let's keep reading. It's the first day of school. Pay the store $25 for school supplies, minus 25. So I am pretty sure that C and player PETA match. Do you agree? Okay, let's make sure we're showing our notes on this one. PETA is situation C or expression C. C matches with player PETA. Let's move on to Maya. Maya collected the following cards. Congratulations, your art submission won first place. Collect $100. So again, keep in mind, this is what happened first. We're looking for an expression that shows that we are collecting $100 first. Talk with your groups real quick. Explain why the situation or the player that you have chosen matches what we just said. Collecting $100 first. Quick discussion at your tables. Ready, set, go. Okay. And voices off. If we're looking for an expression that shows we're collecting $100 first, what is that going to look like? Luke? Why D? Good. M, the amount of money, is first added with $100. How do we know that happened first? Because it's in parentheses. So I think it's good to suspect D. Let's keep reading and see if it matches. Your house was damaged in a flood. You're going to pay half of your remaining money for repairs. What does that mean if we're paying half? What's happening to our amount of money, Danielle? Yeah, it's being divided by 2. So again, is that what this expression is showing? First we add 100, then we divide all of that by 2. And then we got a parking ticket, so pay $25, so we subtract 25. Looks like, I think it's safe to say that player D, or expression D, matches with player Maya. That's going to be D. Okay, let's keep going. Aria collects the following cards. It's time to pay property taxes. Pay the bank $100. So where is an expression that shows the first thing that's happening is we are paying $100? Talk with your groups. I should see more hands. Which expression shows the first thing that's happening is we're paying $100? Raise your hand when you're ready. Okay. Thank you. Jamie, which one shows that? E. How do you know what happened first? It's in parentheses. First thing that's happening is we're paying $100, and in parentheses, we're seeing the amount of money subtracted by $100. Let's keep reading and see if the rest of it matches. You're doing a great job at work, and you just received a bonus. You're going to double the amount of money that you currently have. And we can see that those parentheses, where we first subtracted $100, is now doubled. We're multiplying by 2. And then, keep on reading, it's the first day of school. We pay the school $25 for supplies. So after we pay $100 and then we double, then we're subtracting 25. So I do think it's safe to say player E is Aria. Aria has the expression E to match hers. Is there anybody who needs to make some changes to their pairs that they have made so far? We're doing okay? Okay, Hadley collects the following cards. You won the lottery, triple the amount of money you currently have. Which expression shows tripling the amount of money that we currently have? And shows that it's happening first? Gabe. A. We already discussed that when we saw that this was being doubled, we saw even before it was doubled, it's first being multiplied by 3. So probably safe to say that Hadley is player A, but let's keep on reading. After we triple the amount of money, then we have to pay property taxes. So let's see, multiply by 3, and then we pay $100 in property taxes, and we finish up receiving a bonus, doubling the amount of money that we currently have. So after we multiply by 3 and subtract by 100, that's in parentheses because all of that is doubled. Therefore, Hadley is player A. And let's keep on reading. Leah collects the following cards. Your house was damaged in a flood. Pay half of your remaining money for repairs. What does that mean if we're going to pay half of the money? What am I looking for in that expression? Kaden. Yeah, we're looking for dividing by 2 right out of the gate. So when I'm looking at those expressions and we have narrowed it down to just 2 left, this one shows that it is being divided by 2. This one shows it's being divided by 3. So probably safe to bet on B, but let's keep on reading. After we pay half of our money, then we win $100 for an art submission, and then we pay $25. So I should be seeing adding 100 and then subtracting 25. And that is exactly what we're seeing with B. Dividing by 2, then adding 100 and subtracting 25. So player B is Leah. Which of course that means by process of elimination, Sierra is what we have left, but let's read. Your 2 sisters want to join the game. Divide the money you currently have between the 3 of you. So even though 2 sisters join the game, you're keeping a third of it and giving a third of it to one sister and a third of it to another sister. So that's why we're dividing by 3 first. Looks like the next thing I should be reading according to this expression is something about us losing $100. It's time to pay property taxes, so we pay the bank $100. That matches perfectly. And then we double the amount of money because we're doing a great job at work. So we see the divided by 3 minus 100 grouped together because it happened first, and then it is doubled. So this is Sierra. How is it spelled? 1 R or 2's? 2 R's. Thank you. Like that? Okay. So Sierra is expression F. And that's what writing expressions is all about. Except you're not going to be having them already rewritten for you and just pairing them up. You have to read through a situation and interpret what that means to represent it abstractly. That's math practice 2. Before we do that, let's evaluate. If each player started the game with $1,000, who won the game? So now we know that M is equal to $1,000. And we have these 6 expressions. Who won the game? Talk with your groups. Go through that process, figure out who won the game. 3 times 1,000 minus 100, all then multiplied by 2. Keep going through all that. Pausing the recording as students work through this. Here's how I answered this question. I simply took each expression, put it in my calculator, substituted the M for 1,000. That's what it means to evaluate. Here is player A, 5,800. Player B, 575. Player C, 1,875. Player D, 525. Player E, 1,775. Player E, it gave me this fraction, so I had to force it to a decimal, 466 and 67 cents. So who won the game? Who had the most money at the end? Player A by a long shot. Winning the lottery and multiplying by 3 at the very beginning definitely had a big impact. So who won the game? Who was that? That was PETA. Yes, Sam. Oh, good call. Yeah, that's a good call. Maybe one of Sierra's sisters. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, because player A is not this person. Player A is Hadley. Hadley with $5,800. Okay, and to be a good note taker, I'm going to go ahead and put down the amounts for each one. This was 5,800, 575, 1,875, 525, 1,775, and Sierra, not counting Sierra's sisters, but Sierra, 466 and 67 cents. Okay, let's move on. So I told you you're going to be writing, but we're not going to be writing just yet. This is just like what we did at the end of 1.1a last time. We're going to give you the situation. I give you a bunch of different possible expressions, and you need to find the correct ones. We will be writing very soon, but we're not quite writing just yet. So the situation is Tim took his friends to the movies. He started with $40 and bought 3 movie tickets that each cost X dollars. He also bought 1 tub of popcorn that cost $5.75. Which of these expressions, and it says S in parentheses, so there could be more than one, will represent the amount of money that Tim has left. And then we evaluate. If each movie ticket costs $6, how much does Tim have left? I don't think you need me to walk you through this one. I bet you can handle it. So I'm going to move on to number 3 as well. Master Tickets charges $35 for each concert ticket, plus an additional $2 service fee for each ticket. Kanye purchased X concert tickets. So again, same thing. Which of these expressions represents the situation accurately? And then if he purchased 4 concert tickets, how much did he spend? We're going to talk about 4 together in a second because I like this model. I want you to understand how to read that model. But first, with your groups numbers 2 and 3, figure out the correct expressions and how much it costs based on the information given, part B's. With your groups, ready, set, go. Make sure you work through these on your own, pausing the recording. All right, I hope that you agree that this first one represents a situation. Minus X, minus X, minus X, that's buying one ticket and then another ticket and then a third ticket, which is better represented like this. This also works because it's the negative 3x, but we've already done the 40 minus 575, so we have the 3425 left. Those are the only ones. No, this one will work. 34.25 minus the 3x. This isn't going to work. It's not $3, it's 3 tickets. So that one is not going to work. Just like this is not going to work. We cannot combine our x's and our constants. So those ones are not going to work. And if we simplify this expression, evaluating for $6 per ticket, then we get, what was it? $16.25? All right, thank you. And Master Tickets charges $35 for each concert ticket, plus an additional $2 service fee for each ticket purchased. That means we are really truly paying 35 times x plus 2 times x, or 37x, or add the 35 and 2 together first and then multiply by x. But it's not going to be 35x plus 2. And if we purchase 4 concert tickets, that's 37 times 4, and you get what, please, Sam? $148 spent on tickets. All right, number 4 is also very similar, but I like how the model can help us make sense of the problem. Sarah bought 3 baby outfits. The cost is $P each, so we don't know what the cost is, but she bought 3 of them. Sarah also bought 1 bottle of baby lotion. The baby lotion costs $2 less than an outfit. So this model helps us see this is the cost of an outfit. The cost of lotion is the cost of an outfit, but it's shrunk by $2. So make sense of that. Which expression is going to model this best? We have P plus P plus P, that would be 3 outfits, but then it's showing just subtracting $2 for the lotion. So it's not going to be that one. This is outfit, 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 and outfit minus the $2 to equal the cost of the lotion. That one is going to work. But that tells me that 3P minus 2 is not going to work because that's the same as up here. That's just the 3 outfits and then randomly a $2 off. That doesn't represent the cost of the lotion in there. This one works though because it's just adding the P plus P plus P is 3P plus the lotion. The parentheses are there just to say, hey, this is the lotion. But when I really take a look at it, 3P plus another P is 4P minus 2. So that one works. This one does not work. And what is the cost if each of the outfits is $5? We end up with 4. I'm going with the most simplified. 4 times 5 is 20 minus 2. Sarah spent $18. Last one really quick, and I want to go over this one because you do have one very, very similar in your homework. Anthony and his friends went to a fast food restaurant for lunch. They ordered and ate 3 Big Mix. Not Big Macs, we're not copywriting issues here. Big Mix. 2 Mick chicken sandwiches, spelt M-I-C-K, not M-C, so totally not copying anybody at all. 2 Mick chicken sandwiches and 4 large fries. A Mick chicken sandwich has 200 fewer calories than a Big Mick, and a large fry has 50 fewer calories than a Big Mick. So part of the expression is written out for us. We need to interpret it and fill in the remaining spots. So this C represents the calories in a Big Mick. How many Big Micks did they order and eat? 3. So how are we going to represent that? 3 times C. They also ordered 2 chicken sandwiches. We don't know the calories though. What are the calories? It's 200 calories fewer than a Big Mac. So how am I going to show that? Here's our Big Mac minus 200 for the 200 fewer calories. And a large fry has 50 fewer calories than a Big Mac. So here's our 50 fewer than a Big Mac. How many of them did they order? 4 large fries. So multiply that by 4. Now we need to simplify this. We need to write the simplified form. I'm going to start with the parentheses, right? So I have 3c plus 2 times c minus 200 plus 4 times c minus 50. We start with our grouping symbols because that tells us that we need to distribute. So 2c minus 2 groups of 200 or 400 plus 4c minus 4 groups of 50 or 200. Don't forget our 3c at the beginning. So 3c plus 2c plus 4c, all of that equals 9c, minus 400 less because of the chicken sandwiches are not quite as caloric, and minus the 200 because those are not quite as caloric for the fries, so minus a total of 600 calories. That is our simplified expression. And that is very similar to your homework problem. I'm going to skip C because we are out of time. Here is your homework. 1.1b. Very, very similar to what we've done in class. You're just breaking down each piece. So what does the t mean? What does a t divided by 2 mean? What does a t minus 500 mean? Once you can figure out what each part of that expression means as it relates to the story, it makes everything make a lot more sense. And if you take a look, number 4 is a lot like our Big Mac situation. You might need to get some input from your parents because we're talking about a very interesting situation. We're talking about overtime. And overtime, you make 1.5 times the normal rate. Okay, so for every hour's over 40, she's paid at time and a half. If that's confusing to you, ask your parents for help because I bet they can explain it to you. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.